These glowing blue server racks represent the peak of modern computational power. Inside AI data centers like this, massive clusters process billions of operations every second, demanding a continuous, massive flow of electrical energy to function. If that surging electrical power is allowed to flow indiscriminately, it becomes destructive. Sensitive microprocessors require highly controlled, unidirectional currents. Without a mechanism to route electricity safely, a high-voltage surge overloads the metallic traces, destroying the hardware in seconds. Early engineers solved this routing problem using vacuum tubes. These physical glass cylinders operated as electrical valves, forcing current to flow in a single direction. But they were large, generated intense heat, and broke frequently. Scaling up digital technology required a way to control current direction at a microscopic level, without glass tubes or moving parts. The solution they developed is the diode. A diode is a solid-state electronic component that acts as a strict one-way gate for electricity. To picture how it works, imagine a water pipe fitted with a mechanical flapper valve. As water pushes forward, the pressure lifts the flap, and fluid flows freely. If the pressure reverses and tries to push backward, the valve slams shut. The flow is completely blocked. In an electronic circuit, the diode follows the exact same logic. Current enters through the anode and exits through the cathode. In schematic diagrams, this component is represented by a triangle pointing to a straight line, visually indicating the allowed direction of flow. If electrical pressure attempts to travel against the arrow, it hits the flat line on the cathode side. The current stops completely. This simple rule of one-way flow is the invisible architecture inside every phone charger and solar grid. To build this gate with zero moving parts, engineers had to look closely at the atomic structure of silicon. Traditional materials fall into two strict categories. Conductors, like copper, let current flow constantly. Insulators, like rubber, block it entirely. Neither offers control. Silicon provides a third option. It is a semiconductor. Its baseline conductivity sits between those two extremes, making it highly responsive to chemical engineering. In its pure form, silicon is actually a poor conductor. Every atom shares its outer electrons perfectly with its neighbors. The electrons are tightly bound in a static lattice, leaving no free particles to carry an electric charge. Because this pure structure is highly stable, it operates much like an insulator. Engineers intentionally disrupt this atomic perfection to make it electronically useful. They achieve this through a process called doping. By injecting tiny amounts of specific foreign elements into the silicon lattice, they alter its electrical behavior. If we dope the silicon with an element that has extra electrons, those surplus particles are unable to bond with the lattice. They detach and float freely. We call this N-type material, because these free-floating electrons act as negative charge carriers. Alternatively, if we dope the silicon with an element that has fewer electrons, it creates gaps in the lattice, called holes. As neighboring electrons shift to fill a gap, the hole itself appears to move. We call this P-type material, because these empty spaces behave like positive charge carriers. The critical step is fusing the N-type and P-type materials together. At the exact boundary where they meet, a few free electrons from the N side immediately fall into the holes on the P side. This creates a static, unmoving barrier between the two halves. This barrier is known as the PN junction. It is the core operating mechanism of every diode in existence. To open the gate, we apply a specific electrical pressure, a state known as forward bias. When we connect a positive voltage to the P side and a negative voltage to the N side, the incoming pressure forces the internal particles toward the center. The static barrier collapses and current flows steadily across the junction. Passing through this material requires energy. Diodes are not perfect conductors. To push current across a standard silicon junction, the circuit loses approximately 0.7 volts of electrical pressure. As long as the circuit can pay that 0.7 volt physical toll, forward bias successfully turns the diode on, allowing electricity to pass. But we must also see what happens when the circuit attempts to push current backward. When we apply a positive voltage to the N side and a negative voltage to the P side, we create reverse bias. Instead of pushing particles to the center, the external voltage pulls the charge carriers outward, toward the edges of the material. As the particles retreat, the static barrier in the middle grows massive. The electrical gap becomes too wide to cross, and the flow of current instantly drops to zero. Exploiting the atomic asymmetry between N-type and P-type silicon, the diode forms a self-regulating wall. It strictly blocks reverse current, functioning as a one-way gate. This solid-state blocking behavior drives power conversion, which is arguably the single most important application of the diode. The electrical grid delivers AC power, which oscillates continuously back and forth. But the microprocessors and batteries in our devices require a steady, unidirectional flow of DC power. Engineers bridge this gap through a process called rectification. By running the oscillating AC signal through a diode, the forward cycle passes normally, but the reverse cycle hits the closed gate and is entirely blocked. The output is a pulsing one-way current. Without this physical blocking mechanism, charging a portable device from a standard wall outlet would be impossible. Once engineers understood how to manipulate the PN junction, they tuned the doping levels and swapped the base materials to create highly specialized variations. They developed Schottky diodes with incredibly low forward voltage drops for high-efficiency power supplies, and Zener diodes designed to operate backwards, maintaining precise voltage limits to protect logic chips. This glowing red display relies entirely on light-emitting diodes, or LEDs. Certain semiconductor materials release visible light energy as electrons cross the junction. Run the physics in the other direction, and you get photodiodes that convert incoming light back into electrical signals. Pair those with laser diodes, and you form the core transmitters and receivers of modern fiber optic networks. Perfecting the semiconductor gate solved the problem of routing power and laid the physical groundwork for global communication, digital sensors, and modern displays. The shift from hot, fragile vacuum tubes to solid-state chemistry rapidly accelerated the pace of engineering. By routing electricity through microscopic crystalline lattices instead of mechanical switches, devices shrank dramatically, while their reliability and efficiency multiplied. That efficiency remains critical today. The massive solar arrays generating our renewable energy rely strictly on high-performance diodes to funnel power into the grid without letting it bleed back into the panels at night. The diode proved that we could control the flow of electrons by engineering the internal chemistry of a silicon rock. That single capability introduced the logic necessary to build the transistor, launching the development of microprocessors, graphical processing units, and the AI computing era.